And if we'd all stand and face our flag that's behind me, and I will, and you repeat the pledge after with me. Ready, begin. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Can we have roll call, please?
Board Member Abel?
Here.
Board Member Benedict?
Here.
Board Member Cole?
Here.
Board Member Lundquist?
Here.
Board Member Mintz?
Here.
Board Member Sasnet?
Here.
Chairman Leone?
Here. Okay, this evening, do we have any announcements?
There's no announcements.
Okay, this evening we're here to have the Unmet Needs public hearing for year 2015 and 2016. I would like to read the following. The California Transportation Development Act of 1971, as amended, provides a major source of funds to support public transportation improvements. 1/4 cent of each 8 3/4 cents of sales tax collected in the county is placed in a local transportation fund. The purpose of these funds is to support public transit. Some of the funds can be used to support facilities for pedestrian and bicycles as well. Also, if there are no other unmet transit needs that can be reasonably met, these funds may be used for purposes of local street and road improvement. The public hearing process will be as follows. The hearing board will receive testimony at this hearing. The staff will review the testimony and develop recommendations. The staff recommendations will be reviewed by the public, and Specialized Transportation Advisory Coordination Council, known as PASTAC, will refer back to this hearing board. After reviewing the recommendations, the hearing board will forward its recommendations to San Bernardino Associated Governments, Sandbag. Sandbag Board, upon receiving the recommendations from the hearing board and the public, and Specialized Transportation Advisory Coordination Council, known as PASTAC, and the information contained in its regional transportation plan will make its determination. Each speaker will be permitted 5 minutes. When recognized, please give your name, full address, and the name of any organization you represent. We will first recognize those who have signed up on the blue cards prior to the meeting. We will then provide the opportunity for others from the floor to be heard. The hearing is being recorded and notes are being taken by staff. However, if you have read from a prepared statement, please provide us with a copy. For further information on the subsequent procedures, please see Sandbag staff, Alicia Johnson, the lady sitting there, and Heather Meninger, right in the audience, who will be available immediately after the meeting. We will now begin receiving testimony. Okay, the first one I have for the public hearing is Lise Koenig, Lib Koenig.
Good evening. Thank you guys. You all do such a fantastic job. I'm glad that I get to come to your meetings. My name is Lib Koenig. I live at 7711 Mariposa Trail in Yucca Valley. And the organizations that I do is the Senior Advisory Commission, the Regional Council on Aging, the Municipal Advisory Council, and Rotary, I guess. And just, I'm nosy, and I want to help the seniors and the disabled. The first thing is, I have several things. Last year, a gentleman wanted to have transfers going from the Ready Ride to the fixed route, and I don't go to all the meetings, but I haven't heard any more about it, but you guys know what you're doing. Also in the paper, we had a problem with seniors that don't want to have to wear diapers, that they might need a comfort station at the transfer places. And I know that's going to be a problem because they'll be vandalized by some of the people here. We also have a lot of caregivers in this area where it's grandparents taking care of grandchildren. They don't always have transportation other than the bus to get from their residence to the school with the child that is in the lower grades costs them $14 a day. And they're trying to do this on Social Security. It's not working. Is there something that can be done for these caregivers? They're all living mostly on Social Security, and since I do the food giveaway up here and I see what some of their funds are, they're under $700 a month, so that's not doing very well. I've also asked Mark to give me a pass with Teresa and to do the little loops for the bus so that I can learn how to do it, so I can tell people more about it. And one time when you guys had a closed session, we had a gentleman from the base that said that the vans that they have that start at 5 in the morning and go to the base is costing the people too much money. If there's 10 in there, they divide it. If there's 1, he pays the whole amount. And so is there something that, you guys are perfect, so of course you can do it. Go from Morongo to the base early in the morning and then come back where you can drop them off or, kind of dump them off. And bus services during the evening, because seniors like to be involved and they can't, if they can take a bus to a play or a meeting and then there's nothing to bring them home. This one always has a meeting or bus here and then back home, so that's taken care of. But we'd like to have some pleasures too. We're not all just TV people. And thank you guys, you're perfect. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, we have Atisha Bach, B-A-I-Q or G? Atisha?
B-A-I-G.
Okay.
I'm Atia Beg, Area Representative, Department of Aging and Adult Services, Senior Information and Assistance, County of San Bernardino. Office address is 56357 Pima Trail, Yucca Valley, and residents of Basin can reach me at 760-228-5232. In preparation of this hearing, I have done outreach in all the areas of Morongo Basin, and the feedback was great. I have a list of clients with their requests for additional transit services in the area. Seniors enjoy and appreciate the bus service that is provided in Morongo Basin. Residents they really like TREP program. Now, the thing that we need here is an unincorporated area like Johnson Valley with no public transportation. Every resident, especially seniors, are requesting minimum once a week service from Yucca Valley to Johnson Improvement Association. Pioneer Town, which is another area that has no bus service, people have requested for service from Yucca Valley to Pappy and Harriet's. Not only people from Pioneer Town, but also from Yucca Valley and other areas are interested for this service because they would like to go there, have a good time, enjoy eating lunch there, so that's the request. And this place at this time has no bus service. People living in Yucca Mesa are requesting additional short route to Yucca Valley without going through Landers Loop. Right now, currently, they have in Landers going through the Landers Loop. This is additional short route they are asking from Yucca Valley to without going through Landers Loop, and that's in Yucca Mesa, so that they could come to Yucca Valley within short time, not wait for 2 hours. Wonder Valley, it is good that they have service on Monday and Friday, but it does not show on MBTA Riders Guide map. And this is very important because unless they know, they are not sure when they'll get the bus or on what day. It does not show on the map. Now, Morongo Valley needs more bus stops on the highway because it would be convenient for residents to go to Yucca Valley from Morongo Valley if there are more bus stops, because most of the local physicians, pharmacies are in Yucca Valley. Also, there's a Roadrunner Trailer Village mobile home park that also needs a bus stop. That's in Morongo Valley. More frequent bus services are needed from Yucca Valley to Morongo Valley in the afternoon. At present, there is just one service, and that is at 4:40 p.m. So this is not good for our seniors, and I'm with Department of Aging. So especially in the afternoon, there should be more frequent bus services. Now about Yucca Valley, for the two county departments, the Department of Aging and Adult Services and Family Children Services on Pima Trail in Yucca Valley, we had requested a complete bus stop. Currently, there is only a bus stop sign in front of our office and Children's Services office. We appreciate the fact that Joe Mayer and staff from MBTA came here concerning the bus stop, but it still remains an unmet transit needs. Yucca Valley needs every 30 minutes bus service, because bus riders, if they have to go to doctor's appointment and shopping, they have to wait for an hour for the bus. See, Yucca Valley is the main town, and when the seniors and disabled, they come to Yucca Valley, and usually, if you see the guide map, it is an hour bus service, MBTA. And they are requesting, at least for the Yucca Valley area, because that's like our downtown, they would like to have like 30-minute service, at least in that area. In Yucca Valley, between 247 and Airway Avenue, there is Airway Surgical Center, Imaging Center, and Physicians Clinic, and there's no bus stop in front of the building. There is like about a block on the other side, east side, and that is not good for them, for the patients or disabled people or seniors, because there is Airway Surgical Center, Imaging Center, and Physicians Clinic. So they are requesting a bus stop on the south side of the highway in front of the building, and that's in Yucca Valley town. And now in Joshua Tree, the highway bus pass, that is 31-day go bus service, goes there on highway, but riders are requesting the bus service to Sportsman's Club and Methodist Church, which is on the north side of the highway. And there has been request, and this is what they're requesting. Thank you.
Okay, the next speaker wishing to speak is James Necessary.
Sorry, I wasn't expecting to be called up so soon. I'm just a rider on the bus. My name is James Necessary. I live in 29 Palms at 69860 Squaw Road. I can think of many ideas that MBTA needs to improve, but the ones that directly affect me right now is there's no fixed route that goes close enough to my house. I have to walk 4 miles, and the Ready Ride only comes 2 days a week, and stops and only lets us have until 11:30. We'd like the Ready Ride. Me and my mom would like the Ready Ride to maybe run and like maybe an hour later for us if we have to be stuck with just 2 days, or have a fixed route that goes near our house, which is off of Lear Avenue. Also, I also have business I have to do in Riverside County, but it costs too much for me to take the Greyhound, and if there was a bus that went to Morongo Casino and not just Palm Springs, I could connect to Pass Transit and then to Riverside Transit, and that would save a lot of money. I also agree with the previous speaker that the Palm Springs bus needs to run more frequently than it does currently. And that's all I can think of at this time. Thank you.
Okay. I don't see any more blue cards, but I'm inviting anybody that would like to speak to the board here at the podium. If you just come up and state your name and give your full address, and then make out one of these cards so that we have a record of it. Okay.
Good evening, board members. My name is Robin Schlosser. I'm the Executive Director for Reach Out Morongo Basin. The address is P.O. Box 2225, 29 Palms, California, and I can be contacted at area code 760-361-1410. Working here in the Morongo Basin and serving a lot of the senior, disabled, and low-income clients, I agree with some of the other speakers in that there are areas where there is a severe unmet need. I understand that MBTA has constraints as a public transportation entity that other organizations may not. And if when reporting to Sandbag, I feel that, looking towards viable collaborations with other organizations up here, such as Reach Out, to help supplement the services of MBTA even more in the areas that are being underserved, like Johnson Valley, Wonder Valley, I think would be beneficial. We do get a lot of calls from people trying to get into town to do grocery shopping, run errands, go to the doctors, and we appreciate all that MBTA does do for the community, and I think that with joint efforts and looking to the future, that there's a real good possibility that we can do even more in the community, and I thank you very much.
Thank you. Okay, that invitation goes out to anyone else that would like to speak to the board at this time on any unmet needs. Like to, okay. Seeing none, the last time, I will close the public hearing at this time. Okay, we're going to take a 5-minute break at this time so that people can get transportation and go on the buses. Continuation of our regular meeting. Do we have to call roll call again, or? No? Okay, all right. All right, we have a public comments here. This is the time for comments for the public on any subject not on the agenda. The Brown Act prohibits the MBTA Board of Directors from responding at length to questions on matters not on the agenda. Matters may, however, be referred to staff for scheduling on a future agenda. Comment time is limited to 3 minutes. Okay. Is there any member of the public at this time who'd like to address the the board members? If you would state your name and give your address.
I'd rather not. Good afternoon. The word success is like the word love. It means different things to different individuals. Some folks measure their success by increased income. Some measure it by improvements in their physical appearance. And some measure it by their success by the value of the material goods that they own. In the older days, success was measured by how much territory one gained control of. And these days, just like in bygone times, success to some is measured by how much power and control they have over other human beings, whether it be within the personal family or in one's workplace. Authority over others has been abused by people forever. We in these United States are fortunate to have had the amendments in the Bill of Rights added to our Constitution. For example, the First Amendment protects citizens from interference in their civil liberties by government agencies, representatives, and employees. Concerning such treasured liberties as the freedoms of speech, which includes the written word, freedom of expression, freedom of religion or none, freedom of association, and the right to privacy. Some of the other Joint Powers Authority bus services in this county call themselves Needles Area Transit, Barstow Area Transit, and Valley Transportation Services. The Down Below Bus Service calls itself Sunline Transit Agency. Then there's Morongo Basin Transit Authority. MBTA has no authority in the lives of the people who use the buses. Probation Department does, Drug Court does, Morongo Basin Sheriff Station does, Children's Protective Services does, Departments of Education and Social Services do. Local and county governments, zoning, building and planning, and code enforcement does. Morongo Basin Transit Authority does not. Authority in the lives of the passengers is not what it was created to be or do. It is a transportation service. The word authority has an unconscious negative influence on some of the MBTA personnel. It has been my actual experience. It would have an amazingly healing effect if the word authority was removed from all of the buses by painting over it, as well as where it is printed everywhere else, like on the rider's guides and comment cards and other places. And for a really positive influence on all MBTA personnel, I recommend copying Valley Transportation Services. Morongo Basin Transit Services. That does have a nice sound to it, don't you think? On another issue, I saw that MBTA is looking for another operations manager. No, I don't want to be it. I have enjoyed a constructive and productive passenger-manager relationship via letters and emails with Mr. Mark Goodale for several years. He always responded promptly, courteously, appreciatively, informatively, and sometimes sympathetically to my communications, which reported such things as mechanical failures that were not getting reported by drivers, reports about citizens abusing bus stops and their abusive behavior on buses, and reports about drivers who had continually less than serviceable treatment of passengers or unsafe driving. I saw many actions taken because of my reports. I knew that I was heard by him and developed a trust in him to be responsible where it was needed by the operations manager. I will miss that constructive relationship, but if it must end, I hope that it ends on this praise and gratitude report, which I have conveyed to you board members in writing at this meeting. Thank you, Mr. Mark Goodale. I wish for your success, which I measure in the spiritual growth of respect for and loving kindness to others. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, is there any other member of the public that would like to address the board at this time? Public comment section? Seeing none, I will close the public comments section and move on to the consent calendar. All matters listed under the consent calendar are to be considered routine by the MBTA board and will be enacted by one motion in the form listed. Any item may be removed from the consent calendar and considered separately by the board under item 6.0 on the agenda. The public may comment on consent calendar items prior to board action on a roll call vote. Okay. Can we have a motion on the consent calendar?
I'll move. Mr. Chairman?
Yes.
Pull item 5.4 from the consent.
Item 5.4 being requested to be pulled, okay?
Thank you.
And a motion, can we have a motion with the deletion of that?
Right.
Okay, we have a motion and a second on that. Okay, go ahead. Did you want to address that 5.4, the warrant register?
Want to do that now? Yes.
Yes.
As I reviewed it, I found some initials that I didn't fully understand, and just kind of questions about what the initials mean. And on page 2 of 6 of item 5.4, the warrant register, down toward the bottom, about 4 items up from the bottom, there are the initials LRSI, that occurs a couple of places. It occurs again on page 4.
That's our attorneys.
About halfway down that page. And I'm wondering what that is, and maybe a brief explanation of what those professional fees are.
Okay, Mark, could you address that?
Yes, the LRSI is the Labor Relations Services Incorporated. And that's some of the items that have been discussed during closed session.
Thank you. And then there are a couple of entries for our legal consultant, Rutan and Tucker. They're listed on page, they're on page 4 or 6. Rutan is second from the top on that page. Professional fees, and it's again on page 6 of 6, down toward the bottom. And I'm wondering if those are extraordinary fees or monthly fees, or because of the labor consultations that we do.
That would be in regards to the labor consultations that we've been having, as well as current ongoing situations with those items.
And finally, and I'm jumping ahead a little bit to the statement of expenditures, and it has items on the first page of that statement of expenditures, and the first grouping, an item for professional fees. There's several column headings, but I'm looking at the second to the last heading that says year to date, and it has...
What page you on, Bill?
I'm on the statement of expenditures. It's not part of item 5.4. And it's the first page of that statement of expenditures. Thank you. And it is the first segment of that section, and in the third column, second from the right, where it says professional fees. And then it has an amount budgeted.
5.6.
And
Oh,
actual
5.6.
which is
You jumped to
568% above the budgeted amount. And the question is that again related to consultation regarding labor issues with the law firm?
That is correct. Both of those items that were in the warrant register do fall under the line item number 9 under professional fees.
Okay. Thank you for clarifying that. I have no further questions.
Okay, can I have a motion for the rest of the calendar?
Yeah, motion that we adopt the rest of the calendar.
Okay, and can we have a roll call?
On both? Are we voting on both?
Yeah. Okay, do we have a second on that? We have a motion, do we have a second?
I'll second.
Okay. We're voting on the consent calendar, the entire consent calendar, with the exception of the one item that was pulled.
We now have two motions on the original plus the, do you want to make it all one motion now? Whoever made the original motion?
Okay, we can adopt the original, will you make that as?
Yeah.
Okay, all right,
Second, we'll go.
okay, all right, now can we have the voice vote, please?
Board Member Abel?
Yes.
Board Member Benedict?
Yes.
Board Member Cole?
Yes.
Board Member Lundquist?
Yes.
Board Member Mintz?
Yes.
Board Member Saznet?
Yes.
Chairman Leone?
Yes. Okay, let's see, old business, 7.1, administrative report, staff recommendation, receive and discuss as necessary. Can we have the,
Yes, thank you very much. Under the financial section, this will give a little bit further explanation as to Board Member Sasnet's inquiry. The expenses for July were a little higher than budgeted, and August saw a slight higher monthly than budgeted as well, and this variance was due to the higher expenses in the professional fees category, in addition to insurance premium renewals. The insurance premium renewals, we paid it by a quarterly, so what happens at the end of that quarter, there will be that balance out. So currently, year-to-date, we are $7,000 behind plan. I'm going to be continuing some further discussion with council to get a prospective date and time, what is our continued outlook on these type of expenditures. Ridership. In July's ridership is a little higher than, actually, I'm sorry, it's lower than what it was last year, but in August, we had a higher ridership than the previous year. While there's a slight increase in some of the reporting months, the overall year-to-date fare box recovery shows 20% rather than 25 as we were last year, which can have several different factors: higher day pass use, increased monthly sales, as well as a pattern shift in customer usage. Staff is going to continue to monitor the ridership and continue its marketing efforts. One of the things that will help is the current ongoing short-range transit plan. Cliff Chambers with Mobility Planners has been here for the past 2 days, and we've had several discussions on several ideas on our short-range transit plan for the next 5 years in improving services. Recruitment for the operations manager is still ongoing. I have done several interviews, including a in-house staff member. I'm hoping to identify and bring forth a successful candidate by the November 12th meeting. On October 5th, we're going to have our annual financial audit with VTD, the same auditing firm that we've used for the past 2 years. And that would conclude the administrative report if anyone has any questions.
Are there any questions on the staff report?
No.
Seeing none, I'll ask for a motion. Is there any public comment on the staff report? If not, I'll close public comment and return it back to the board. Is there any comments to be had? None seeing, I'll ask for a motion.
I'll move that we receive the administration report.
I'll second that. Can we have roll call vote, please?
Board Member Abel?
Yes.
Board Member Benedict? Yep. Board Member Cole?
Yes.
Board Member Lundquist?
Yes.
Board Member Mintz?
Yes.
Board Member Saznet?
Yes.
Chairman Leone?
Yes. Okay, moving on to operations report, 7.2. Can we have the staff report, please?
Great, thank you. Going to be a little out of order here. I'm going to start off with the real good, exciting one is the employee recruitment. As I have reported in several months that we were down several employees, which was attributed to the increase of our overtime. Well, since July, 4 new, and actually to date now, as I speak, 5 new employees have been identified. They've gone through training. They're currently doing inline instruction with existing operators. I had one trainee pass their DMV test today. So while I'm still having some doing some of their training, I'm starting to see the overtime starting to fall. And coach operators, the number will continue to go up. Operations and safety, fixed route and ready ride on-time performance is still running relatively stable. As far as customer comments, we had 3 customer contacts for July and 10 in August. They've been recorded as customer compliments, service suggestions, and the service suggestions will be turned over to Sandbag to be included in the unmet needs testimony. 5 driver complaints, some compliments, and others complaints about other passengers, and 1 other. The driver compliments have been, I reach out to them quite often and really just thank them for a really good job that they do, and I even pass on continuously that the board members as well appreciate the hard work that they do and thank them for their hard work that they provide every day. There's 42 days of free of any preventable accidents or injuries. Maintenance had 3 road calls and 1 tow. And in August, there was 2 road calls, 2 tows. They had a cost per mile for July was 56 cents, and then the operating mileage for August was 62,000, which equated to a 67-cent cost per mile. For taxi, we processed 2 new taxi drivers, 5 renewals. No applicants were denied a permit. 2 vehicles were added, so there's a total of 18 cabs and 5 companies. So that would conclude the operations report, if anyone has any questions.
Okay. I'm going to open it to the public now. Is there anyone that would like to speak on the staff report on operations? Seeing none, I'll close the public comment section and return it to the board for board member comments.
Mark, do you feel like you were able to resolve the complaint also?
Yes. Yes, many of the complaints did have some good resolution to them. And many of it was just some further education on both parties.
Good. Thank you.
Okay, any other comments?
Yeah, there's always areas of training in any service provider and for when people are involved. So I'd like to commend those individuals that received the compliments. It's funny how it's so easy to make a phone call when you're angry and make a complaint, but it's not as easy, and especially it's not as common for someone to say, they did an exceptional job and I want to call and let somebody know. So we appreciate it.
Thank you. I'll pass that on.
Okay. All right, if there's no other comments, I don't think I received a motion to accept the operations report.
No.
Receive and file.
I second.
Okay.
To approve the operations report.
Okay, we have a motion and a second, and we have roll call. Vote, please.
Who made the motion?
I'll make it.
The chair.
The chair.
Oh, the chair did. Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
Okay.
I asked for the motion, but I made the motion, in fact. Okay.
Okay, got it. Thank you.
And then Mark was...
Okay, roll call.
Board Member Abel?
Yes.
Board Member Benedict?
Yes.
Board Member Cole?
Yes.
Board Member Lundquist?
Yes.
Board Member Mintz?
Yes.
Board Member Saznak?
Yes.
Chairman Leone?
Yes. Okay, I guess I skipped around here a little bit. Do we have any new business? Says none.
No new
Okay.
business.
Going down the board here. We have no closed session, and so our next meeting, the next board meeting will be scheduled on Thursday, November 12th at 5 p.m. at the MBTA Joshua Tree Operations Center. Now, that is the second Tuesday of the month, not the 4th. So just make that, and that's in November.
Excuse me.
Apparently, we're not having it. Go ahead.
I have a question on something Mr. Saznet brought up. That was an exceptional catch, by the way. I don't know why I didn't catch it, because I went through it too. So if we're already through, we're already past the annual budget amount of whatever it was, 56,000 or whatever. And so is that something we're going to need to update on the budget?
There may be a possibility, may have to come back with a budget update.
Okay, so
Yes.
if we need to, I would appreciate maybe a little explanation on what's going on, without keeping the information out.
Thursday. You kept saying Tuesday, that's why you were confusing me.
Okay.
So, okay.
Yes, I'll do that. Yeah, before I would bring forth any budget amendment, I would definitely bring as a purpose and reason and justification. I'm hoping it will go away soon.
It's
All
not.
right, I was just informed that I skipped the future board meeting comment. So we go to number 9, future board initiated agenda items. You mentioned something. Okay, is there anyone else that would like to have a future initiated agenda item? Seeing none, okay. We'll move on to, then we have any other comments from the board members on number 10?
I have one comment.
Okay, go ahead.
We had that taxi subcommittee, and I want to thank Mark and Lori for educating me on the taxis of the Morongo Basin. I had no clue. that it was as sophisticated as it was, and the fees and everything else. I just want to appreciate the report they gave me. It was quite lengthy, and if anybody ever wants to know about the taxis, I know Lori probably be able to do it now by herself, but she'll be able to explain it to you very well. So it was very informative when they explained it to us. So
Right.
just wanted to thank staff for that.
Thank you.
Okay, any other board member comments? None? Okay. So that's it. We are now adjourned to our next meeting, as I said. My mistake, it's on Thursday, November 12th. That is the second Thursday of the month. We are adjourned.